Libertarians love to talk a big game about how democracy is the 65% saying to shoot the other, 45%, or 35%, I should say. But meanwhile, what it really comes down to is they want to have property and land to be able to do with whatever the fuck they want to and screw everybody else. So it's more like the 35% saying they can shoot the other 65% and they're just supposed to take it. The fact is, libertarians or anyone on the right wing does not support absolute rights. You might have your libertarians that support Confederacy. They support states' rights, which is democracy in its purest form. Every state democratically elects its officials, it democratically elects its laws, and then from there, every state is different culturally and lawfully, and if you don't like it, you just move, like it's that simple. Then the more ultra-right-wingers, like the neoconservatives and the objectivists, believe in aggressive foreign policy and social Darwinism, and that the rich are most absolutely correct, and plutocracy, that those that are of high standing have somehow earned it and should be able to oppress us. But none of them seem to validate or even think about the fact that the Constitution they love so much is a decree of what human beings have a right to. And all they say is the government doesn't have the right to interfere. Well, the government isn't even the biggest problem. Guess what? The government isn't Facebook. The government isn't Google. The government isn't anything that's censoring you or influencing you. The government is merely the means to an ends of regulating human activity. And human activity needs to be regulated, or else humans, beings, as individuals, suffer. So, let's look at the constitutional rights, like the right to bear arms, or the right to a fair trial, or the right to freedom of speech. Is it enough to just say that government can't pass laws against these things? Or is it the active duty of government to make sure that these rights are honored by everybody, for everybody? So, like freedom of speech. Is it enough to say that the government shouldn't censor people, like it shouldn't censor activities or something? Or should it go a step further and government should go out of its way to make sure there is freedom of speech, i.e. regulate internet forums that think they can ban you for whatever fucking reason they deem appropriate at the time? So, or even the right to bear arms. Do you think it's enough to say government can't regulate weaponry, or that government should try to arm people and try to train people to properly use firearms and things like that? That way they can defend themselves and go through necessary channels to try to make sure everybody's well armed, well prepared, confident enough in their own ability to defend themselves and their livelihood, their families, whatever. And, it's that. They don't believe in absolute rights. If you believed in, let's say, a right to a fair trial, you would want the government to pay for your lawyer. Always. There wouldn't be this private lawyer firm where you have to have a lot of money to get a good lawyer. In fact, it would probably be illegal to hire a private lawyer because it's unfair to people that can't afford a lawyer. So, the government should control the entire sector of attorneys. Every attorney should be a state officer, and the government will assign you an attorney. And if you're not happy with your attorney, you can do some paperwork and change your attorney. But everyone should be provided an attorney on call. I want to be able to have on my cell phone, on speed dial, my attorney. I should be able to have that. And if I have a right to a freedom of trial, then it should go without saying that if I'm ever in a trial, for whatever reason, whether it be civil, whether it be criminal, whether it be anything, I should have the right to an attorney, and by right to an attorney, I don't mean I pay for an attorney, I mean they provide an attorney. I have a right to a jury, which doesn't mean sometimes, it means whatever court case we're doing, if I want a jury, I can have a jury. It means that there are certain protocols that they cannot accuse me of double jeopardy. They cannot accuse me of libel. They cannot, get me to admit to something I don't want to admit to. I do not have to tell them things. I can plead the fifth. Things like that. We do not do that. I don't know of any country that does. We do not believe in absolute rights, and that's the problem. And the problem is the right wing sincerely does not believe in absolute rights. Because I think the left wing does, but that they just don't know how to go about it usually. But the right wing has no concept because it goes against their whole debate. It goes against being right-wing to believe that human beings have rights. End of the question. Because once they say human beings have rights, then the property owners don't have the ability to manipulate people, the land, labor, however they want to. And that's what their cornerstone of their belief system is. That if you own something, you control it, and as the controller, you are not bound by any sort of moral or legal law. You are like some kind of Ubermensch, but you're not. You're just a murdering psychopath. And that's what I'm trying to get across to people when I talk about moderators and when I talk about freedom of speech. It's not merely, an issue that I don't like getting banned, I don't like getting treated like shit, I don't like being expected to write these intelligent, well thought out posts just to watch them get deleted and watch myself get banned and not be able to post anymore, despite how I'm the one putting in the effort. That's just the tip of the iceberg. The point is, nobody should have the right to do that to me or to anybody else. Nobody should have the right to dictate discourse and to dictate the environment in which people socialize and communicate their ideas and struggles. The point is, if you have freedom of speech, no one should be allowed to infringe upon it, not just the government. So, they have no concept of rights. Until they are willing to say that, just because you own property does not give you free reign to do whatever you want to other people on said property, they do not believe in rights. All they are is anti-government, and if you use any other word besides government, they're perfectly fine with it. And that is not rational, that is not feasible, that is not moral. It is destructive to anyone that encounters it. It is destructive to anyone that happens to fall victim to it at that particular time. And I'm not going to live my life playing musical chairs with every fucking property owner on this earth. It is not my duty to go on a website and be liked by every single moderator. It isn't at any means reasonable, and it isn't physically possible. If there are 24 moderators circulating a forum, what is the likelihood that not one of them is going to want to see me get banned? If just one of them does not like me, he can abuse his moderator powers and ban me, and who do you think the other moderators are going to side with? Their moderator comrade or me? So, there you go. That's what happens when you have land ownership. What you have is an aristocracy. What you have is a clear class hierarchy of those at the top commanding those at the bottom, holding them to unrealistic standards of being courteous, well-liked, hard-working, intelligent. But in the end of the day, it means nothing because they can fuck you over anyway. So where is the incentive? Where's the incentive for me to respect your rights when you don't respect mine? You want to talk about property rights. You want to talk about how I'm just this, immature, autistic, socialist type person that wants to take away all you worked so hard for. What about my work? What about my effort? What about me just wanting to be able to talk to people? And I can't even fucking do that. And you're gonna tell me that I'm the problem, that I'm the bully, that I'm just wanting to take away all your stuff, and boo-hoo, you're the victim. Fuck you. Fuck your family. Fuck your dog. There is no reason at all that should happen to me. There's no reason at all it should happen to anybody. And despite what trolls and all the little white supremacist fucktards that come to my page might think or say, this doesn't have anything to do with me in and of itself. I know it appears that way, but it's about the principle. And I know a lot of people don't have a lot of principles, so it's hard for them to imagine. But it's the principle of the matter, that someone can do that to you and no repercussions happen. It is the principle of the matter that if you believe in those rights, then you are not going to let them get stepped on, no matter who's doing the stepping. It is always about the principle of the matter. So, that's all I can say, because people are not going to get it. Some people will, but most are going to continue with their contrived garbage, talking about how I don't know what I'm talking about and shit like that. But you have no rights. Right now, as you post on my YouTube page, trolling my YouTube page, I'm not the one saying you shouldn't be able to do that. You are. You're the one saying that I should ban you because you're defending that right. You're defending my right to be able to eject you and to shut you up just because you disagree with me. And I'm not going to do that. And you know that. That's why you act the way you do. That's why you bully and torment me, because you know I won't fight back, because I truly believe you have the right to express yourself. You're fucking cowards, you're fucking yellow-bellied pigs, and you should be slaughtered, because you're not people. Human beings have dignity. Human beings have audacity. What you are is an animal. You are waiting to die. You are waiting to be used as food. And it pisses me off, because then by extension the rest of us have to be animals too, because a couple of you are fucking stupid. And furthermore, you know, I can't be held responsible for what YouTube does to you. If for whatever reason you get banned, I can't stop that. I should be able to stop that. It should be within all of our rights to regulate YouTube and to stop people from getting their videos deleted, their posts deleted, you know, their ability to post getting locked out and getting banned and shit. But we don't have that right, because the specific, vague, faceless moderators of YouTube own the website and get to control the circulation of ideas and discourse. And they have no names, they have no identities, they are just this vague moderator elite. And they do that on purpose. They hide themselves because they know if they did ever come out publicly, we would kick their ass in the street. We would step on their feet, we would kick them in the nuts, we would hit them in the head with a baseball bat. They would not be able to go around doing that shit if they were visibly, you know, present. So that's what I'm trying to say here. They're sociopaths. Sociopaths believe in the right-wing rhetoric. Sociopaths believe that just because you own something, it somehow negates your rights as a human being. You do not believe in the Constitution. You do not believe in anything. Because the Constitution is merely a reminder of what it means to be a human being, and what it means to have rights, and to have absolute rights, and what is good and evil. And you've misinterpreted it as, oh, it's just government's fault. Government cannot do these things because, ooh, the state's so bad. Ugh. You know? So, it's all on you. It's your own ignorance. It's your own evil deeds and evil ways. It's your own mentality that has caused all this tyranny. And as privatized as this country and most countries are, you continue to blame government. You continue to blame the poor. You continue to blame any sort of action that would try to minimize the shit. And it doesn't matter how moderate it is. It doesn't matter how, you know, reasonable it is. It doesn't matter how they try to appeal to you or to reason with you. It's not going to matter to you because you want to hurt people. If you didn't, you would have gotten pissed off about it a long time ago.